So, you are watching the Bad Vlog, episode 3. I'm Mary Freeman, playing Catwoman, and here we are.
The Bat Blog.
You didn't do the da-da-da-da-da-da.
I didn't do the Bat Blog. I feel like that's more your thing, man. I'm not singing on camera, man.
I told you, did not agree.
If only you guys could have seen at home what he was doing just 2 minutes earlier. 2 minutes earlier. He was Bat Dance. You remember the Bat Dance Prince? Yeah.
Oh, you're not talking about Adam West things?
So episode 3, Bat Vlog. Eric Fuerst as Alfred. Got him on the show. Mary Freeman, Catwoman, Selena Kyle, to those uninitiated. And Greg Percy, Batman.
How's it going, everybody?
Like it, he'll whoop you up. If you don't like it, he'll fucking whoop you up. So, better like it.
I got nothing else going on.
Got nothing going on in the world except for this. This is it. This is all we got. Mary, you joined the cast, and we thank you, because we couldn't make a Batman movie without you, because it's a fan film. And who's the ultimate fan besides me? It's you.
I mean,
We know you don't have quite the experience that some of these other guys have, Eric. And it could be daunting sometimes to think of it from that perspective, but you have such a heart of courage that you've risen to the challenge. What are your thoughts being asked to be a part of this and considering doing it, and then considering actually acting these lines and being this character, not just in image like how we do in cosplay, but as full essence and everything?
All right. Well, I mean, when you first asked me about this, I think it was when we'd met, and I think that was ECCC of last year, I want to say. And I'm pretty sure I was just like, yeah, okay. Like, you're not actually going to ask me that in real life later. And then you did. And I was like, wait, what? No, what? No, you're not serious. Because I have no acting experience at all. The only experience I have of any kind with this is cosplay. That's all. And I'm pretty sure I threw that up real fast and was like, surely you actually want somebody who knows what they're doing. And you told me that, no, you wanted me to do it. And what I appreciated about that was how low pressure you were about it. You were like, why don't you just come on to like the production team, and you have good insight, I'd like that, and you don't have to commit to anything, and you could just hang out and whatever, and then if you decide you want to, great. If you don't, great, whatever. And that, I think, was what gave me the room to kind of settle and to be involved and see the energy and kind of take in some of that energy that everybody else was bringing, and the enthusiasm and just the fun. And it kind of reminded me that, this isn't, it is, a fan film at the end of the day. And no, you don't necessarily have acting experience, whatever that is, or, but that doesn't mean that you can't be a part of this and have fun. And I have still been kind of intimidated by the aspect of acting, but I was talking to one of my sisters the other day and telling her about this and being like, dude, I'm so scared. And she was like, well, I mean, I think you could do it. And she was like, I've seen you at conventions and you can just like turn it on and turn it off like pretty good when people ask you. And I don't think you realize you're doing it, but you do it. And I was like, okay. Thanks, that helps actually. So yeah, I don't know. I think I'm more relaxed about it now than I was before, and I'm more excited, and I'm more you know, like, yeah, let's do this thing. Let's figure it out. Please be patient with me. But let's figure it out. It'll be great.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it's gonna be great.
Well, we, like I said, couldn't even picture even thinking about even doing this without you. I haven't been touched. Wait, that doesn't sound right. I haven't been touched in a way that kind of moved me by other people that love some of these things so much. Because, I mean, if you dress the part, that's because you feel so passionate about the character. And to me, because it's like the ultimate kid's fantasy to play your favorite person, you know, and just that aspect alone, just your love of it. And like your sister said, yeah, it is true. When I seen you at cons when we met, you were the character. And it wasn't really even a question in my mind that you were even, and I don't mean for this to sound stupid or something, but it didn't even, I didn't think of you as a person. I thought of you as Catwoman.
I get it. I get it. Which is extremely complimentary, and I thank you for that.
Hey, well, sometimes I wonder if it's the truth, is it a compliment or is it just facts?
Can it be both?
Hard to say. Yeah. You know what?
Can it be
I think
both?
we're onto something. See, teamwork. That's why we need those. That's why we need different people in our life besides just you, Mom. And I'm recording over here. Just
keep it down over there. We're recording.
Eric.
Sir.
Eric first. I met you from a referral.
Travis Martinez. Absolutely.
Travis. I told him, guys, I said, if you could find an Alfred, put you at my top of my list for everything. And what's the first thing he does? Alfred. And he might even have Montoya. So we'll see.
Right.
Eric, you have an extensive background, right, of theater for years and years. Tell us about it.
It's been a few years. So basically, all the way back in, I'd say even grade school, maybe somewhere between grade school and junior high, there was a summer acting camp. I've never been much of a, I've always enjoyed doing sports, but I've never been the greatest at it. So my parents said, hey, wait a minute. Let's look at this. Wait a minute. I think we have something here. Cut the bug at that point and never looked back. Was a part of every show in high school. Ended up going to Washington State and getting a degree in theater arts and drama. Then all the way up to 1995. Fast forward to leaving college, doing regional theater, a lot of work on at a great location in Auburn Avenue Dinner Theater. Was the Dinner Theater at the time, it's no longer that, but still in the Auburn Avenue Theater. Took a pretty extensive break around 2003, got married, had a family and everything like that. Came back and did a show on Bainbridge Island. Saw that Shrek was going on, and so I said, okay, my kids like Shrek, so maybe that might be a sign to get involved. Ended up getting involved with that. A few years later, moved off of the island area and back here to Tacoma, and got into the Addams Family over there, where I met Travis and a lot of other great people. And really, that's the last theater that I've done, but it's always, I guess you could say, been in my blood, and it's always been a part of me. And my youngest are teenagers now, and so it's time to get back involved, I suppose.
You know, funny thing about being an artist is you can't feel alive unless you're doing your art, your craft. So all this, everything else is just, it's almost like misery. You know, I mean, it's the way of the world. That's how it is. But it's like having your wings binded behind you. When you know you can fly, you just need a platform sometimes.
I think you're right about that. I think I've always found that platform even when I wasn't in front of other people, let's say, or necessarily on stage per se. I work for the federal government. I happen to work for the Internal Revenue Service of all things, and like once a year we have a town hall where we announce different stats and everything like that. I've done master of ceremony for that a couple of times, things of that nature. Once a year or so, if not even a little bit more, I stretch my writing muscles and I write a poem for my wife or one of my daughters or something like that. Every so often, just to surprise them. So I think it's always been there. Maybe not in the form of I'm going to go on stage and perform these lines and all of this, but it's always been there and always been a part of things. Just this is the natural way to express it, let's say.
I always thought if you're an artist, that kind of encompasses everything, because could be acting, could be drawing. It's just the thing that creative people just want to be creative. It doesn't sometimes matter what it is.
Yeah.
How do you feel about let's talk about the Alfred role real quick before we get to Greg.
Sure.
We approached you about Alfred and we talked. I think you might have done a line. How do you feel about bringing him to life for us with this project?
Well, I have some big shoes to fill, for one thing. A lot of us have big shoes to fill. I grew up on the TV show. I'm old enough to have seen the TV shows and reruns on a regular basis and everything like that at the time. And so I grew up with this lanky, white-haired, mustachioed Alfred that was and that was Alfred to me. And then
Jack Napier, right?
What was that?
Was that Jack Napier? Is that right?
No, Alan Napier, I believe it's Alan. Alan. I could be mistaken.
I think it's Alan. Okay. You know, it's just funny because they both happen to have the same last name, and how are you gonna? Anyway, Alfred.
In any case, so big shoes to fill there, and of course we've got in the Dark Knight trilogy that this is kind of getting a lot of this movie is kind of getting a lot of its origins and everything like that. Some Englishman by the name of Michael Caine took on that role, and good, I don't know what I'm thinking, taking on anything that he might have already been so accomplished at. However, the only thing to do is to make it your own and to take from different aspects and everything like that. And like I said, the first time I didn't know what it would sound like until the first reading, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah.
I knew that there'd be an English accent, and I knew that would happen. I didn't realize that it would be so. I think I may even mentioned John Cleesian at the time. I almost sounded like it was Batman doing Monty Python or something like that, which is an astounding thing.
I love it.
But for some reason,
that needs to happen.
That needs to happen.
It worked for that character, and you haven't told me no, so I suppose we're just going to stick with it in the tally on.
I thought it sounded good because I know you mentioned that before. But I thought you're enough on the other side of the line where it seems really natural and really, because sometimes that's all, it's like helium. Sometimes one more hit of that helium and you're just too out there. But sometimes it's just enough where you're right on the radar, because it sounds great. You guys haven't heard him yet in the reads.
Mm-mm.
Like, he's freaking, we had him and Gordon read the other day, and I know we had something where we were doing, and man, he, like, just from the last 2 reads, because you were talking about that other one was the first one and last week was the second one, but just from 1 to 2, he is this guy already. He sounds like he's ready to shoot.
All right.
Greg,
I know we've been messaging back and forth in characters, so that's been fun.
It'll be interesting to get to know the actors apart from the characters, because right now, because of the state of the world right now, we're all getting to know each other as, this is Batman and this is Catwoman and this is the Joker and I'm Alfred, and usually that's very backwards from what I'm used to in the shall we say traditional theater. Yeah. In the traditional theater, you get to know the actors and you get to work alongside them, and you trod the theater floors with them and such. And at the same time, later on, they become Lady Macbeth, or they become Dolly Levi, or something along these natures. And this is very different. I'm getting to know Batman and Catwoman and Jim Gordon and things like this before I get to know them as Ton and Mary and Greg and Anthony and people like this.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting project for sure.
Mm.
We're hoping to have a couple kind of get the whole cast together before we actually start filming. Might have like a barbecue or something, or I've got a friend who got a big pizza, one of those wood fire grills, so we'll do something. And then just meet everyone, get a bunch of promo pictures, stuff like that. And when we do shoot, some of the ideas were, depending on what it is, taking the first day, say it's Saturday, Sunday, taking the Saturday and just choreographing the fights when we do have fights, but we'll walk through those scenes before we shoot them. Like, we'll go through them like how we do the lines, walk through them over and over and over, then we'll just knock them out, record them. So I know it's
Walking
a little different, but
would be good. Yes.
Yeah.
Walking would be good.
Walking would be good.
It's interesting because one of the main topics on the messenger thread has been the workout routine and everything like that. and I find it quite interesting because here I am as the old guy of the group, quite literally in character, the old guy of the group, Alfred, and I'm about to hashtag Alfred bot or something like that. I don't know what's going on.
Well, you know what? I feel like if we did a tasteful Alfred spread in a calendar, I feel like there would be a hell of a reception.
Yep.
I feel as if there's a little bit of Alfred coming out right now, because Alfred is sort of the one that tries to bring a little bit of real life into things.
Rein it in a little bit.
Perhaps the Jiminy Cricket of the group, if you will. Let your conscience or your Alfred be your guide. And so perhaps,
what? Maybe we'll get a romper for Alfred.
A bat romper.
Yeah. 10 minutes, guys. It's going to time out, and I'll have to resend the link. Just a heads up. Greg, let's get to you real quick about a question. I know we established some of the stuff. A little update. Batman, hell of a role. Mary, Alfred. Eric, Catwoman. Alfred,
what?
your heart. Like, the thing about Robin, Nightwing, all those guys, those are like your sons. You're kind of like watching out over them. These two are more equal in relationship wise. How do you
Yeah.
feel about having these characters so close to you in this movie?
I'm looking forward to kind of seeing the aspects of the father-son relationship between Alfred and Bruce, and then the letting the guard down that he doesn't normally let down with Catwoman and those kind of things. I'm excited to kind of try to bring to life those aspects of the character that you don't see too often in those films, because it's such a kind of linear run a lot of times. But and then also then switching back to where when I do interact with the Robins, of being so strict and just be like, this is what it is, and that's what it is. So get in line or fall in line. But I do agree with what Eric was saying as far as big shoes, man. I mean, I've been watching the Christopher Nolan trilogy. I've probably watched it about 6 times through now at this point, and just messing with the voices and the way he carries himself when he's Batman versus when he's Bruce. There's not a whole bunch of Bruce, but there's some. So trying to make sure I Christian Bale, man, he's a badass. So.
I might even say he's my favorite actor. I don't know. American Psycho, you guys should see it.
Oh yeah, I watched that one just recently too.
Oh man.
And see, I think that might be a generational thing, because to me, Batman is always going to be a Michael Keaton.
Yeah.
That's just, again, that's where I grew up. I'm of that generation and such. But and the Joker will always be Jack Nicholson and the like. And so, not to interject too much, but it's where you come from and what you bring to it.
You know what? They started off my whole fascination with Batman. Those two. So, but to me, they're special in a different way. They're special in a traditional comic book, over the top. But the thing about the Nolan thing is that's special because that brings Batman concrete into the real world, where there is no any question. So to me, like, it's two different things. Like, yeah, I love Michael Keaton, I love Jack Nicholson, but Christian Bale is almost, to me, the definition of the greatest Batman showcase on film, in my opinion. I know Ben Affleck was decent. I didn't mind him. But Christian Bale, just the fact that he's such a great actor.
He went all in
Psycho,
on that.
The Machinist. Have you seen The Machinist? Was the one he did right before.
Yeah.
Like, he did that right before Batman. And
he wrecked himself because of that. Because he lost so much weight for The Machinist and bulked up so fast.
Yeah,
it's called dedication, folks.
Some actors, you could just rely on whatever they do. They're going to do their best, and just in that, it makes it good. So guys like Christian or Leo DiCaprio, someone like that, you just know whatever they're working on. You don't even really have to know what the story is. You just have to know, oh, he's doing this new movie.
Sold.
Yeah, that's it. A lot of times, that's it.
Yeah.
Mary, let's talk about your first experience with Batman. I know we did this question, but that episode got destroyed. So your first experience with Batman and Catwoman, and where did it all start for you?
It all started in the 90s when I was a wee child, with the animated series that was so very dark and did not talk down to the children that it was supposedly for, but let's be real, it was for everybody. It was really for adults, come on. And I didn't care. It was amazing. And all I knew was that I loved it, and I loved everything about it. And there was a lot of jumping around on couches pretending to be superhero, you know, as you do when you're like 7. But yes, so this version was my first Catwoman.
Oh yeah.
Yep. And I loved it when I was a kid, but I didn't really love it in the same way, because you're a kid, you don't quite get the nuance. But I love it more now as an adult because I kind of understand better. I don't know why I said kind of. I understand better the very at once very complicated and also very simple dynamic between Bruce and Selina, that, you know, they each kind of have and exemplify something that the other one wants. So on the one hand, they're both very attracted to that, but they're both also very like, I can't have that for whatever reason. And talk about relatable. Well, not for everybody. For some people, for me, it was very relatable as an adult, which of course I did not understand as a child. As a child, it was just like, oh, they're so cute. I like them, you know. But
Will they? Won't they?
won't they? Yes. But yeah, no, it had more of an impact on me, I think, than I was capable of realizing until fairly recently, by which I mean in the past like 5 or so years. And, you know, growing up with older sisters, I grew up like with not only with that, but yes, with like Keaton Batman was my live action Batman too. And seeing Batman Returns, too young, and again, the dynamic there between Bruce and Selina, and just like again, like that just very heartbreaking sense of like, why can't you just be together? Just be together. It's fine. It's fine. What's wrong? And again, the depth of these two people who are very much in pain and traumatized and trying to sort of be whole in themselves, but not, and knowing that you can't have a relationship that way, you know, yeah, very much impacted me being a kid and then growing up, and again in ways that I'm gonna need a therapist to help me figure out. But long story short, anyway, I love them. That's why I'm here.
You know, sometimes people could be so hurt that they think that they don't deserve to be loved. And some of these aspects of some of these characters could be relatable, because sometimes as a person we go through these things through life and it makes you hurt so much that you don't want to trust anyone ever again, and you don't want to have anyone even have a chance to hurt you. And it's just the barriers and the walls, but that's also what makes such great characters, is the tragedy, because it just always seems that sadness is so relatable to real life. People are so happy in the movies, happy endings, happy families, and a lot of life is, it's not always how it is. Eric, your first experience with Batman, what were you doing? What were you doing when you first heard of Batman?
When I first heard of Batman, so my first experience with Batman was the TV series. Absolutely, it was Adam West, and it was Cesar Romero, and it was Burgess Meredith, and it was Julie Newmar, and it was all of these people that nobody has ever heard of at this point. It was coming home, and I want to say 5 o'clock in the afternoon on weekdays in reruns, because the normal run had already been finished, but in reruns it was the blue suit. It wasn't a black suit. It was the blue suit. It was a dark blue suit. It was the very colorful, flamboyant costumes. It was
That too.
I'm a big Saturday Night Live geek also. It was where the ambiguously gay duo originally must have come from.
Oh my gosh.
So anyway,
Too much.
Yes, that's where my original, that's where my first knowledge of Batman came from. I wasn't a comic book geek or anything like that, not to degrade the public that's going to be probably the primary focus of our... We love you, geeks. However, that wasn't me. I was not that kind of geek anyway. I wasn't that kind of person.
It was a different era. Silver Age was kind of rough, so don't blame you.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I was a TV holic. So I was a TV holic, so it was
Oh,
Adam
too.
West, and it was and it was Burt Ward, and it was all of these guys that were Batman and Robin and Joker and Catwoman to me. That's where my original knowledge of Batman came from.
I used to
The
hate
first movie,
that
obviously,
mustache.
came out
For
after that with Michael Keaton and everything in the Batman in what 1989 or something.
89.
89.
It is.
Right. Back when Kim Basinger was a hot.
Oh
dog.
yeah. Oh yeah. Vicky Vale.
Everything back at that time.
Oh man.
Indeed, Vicky Vale.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's
Let's
Wanna
right.
have
get
a
nuts?
poster.
Let's get nuts.
You want to get nuts? Come on.
Let's get nuts.
Never rubber,
Yeah,
never man's
that's
rhubarb.
but
Best
I mean,
line.
even in the script, there's a reference to Smilex and everything like that,
Yeah.
which
Oh,
there
yeah.
is homage paid to
Oh yeah.
to all the different aspects of Batman in this.
Oh
script.
yeah.
Mhm.
As much that could be jammed in a natural way. Oh,
Yeah, that's
that
right.
was natural. I was
You know,
telling.
you know where to beg, borrow, and steal from. In any case,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
yes,
A
indeed.
lot of begging. Believe me. Lots of begging.
Oh.
Food,
Right.
please.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm on a diet.
Yeah, about that.
Greg,
Yeah.
the Catwoman, Batman aspect, like, you know what it's meant to Mary. This kind of meant a lot of the same to me too, Mary, because
Yep.
when I think about Batman and Catwoman, really, that's the only couple that I would ever really care about, because I love them both so much.
Yeah.
And it doesn't really think Mary Jane and Spider-Man would be like the second, but really compared to Batman and Catwoman, like
Great.
to me, that's the ultimate.
Nah.
That's the ultimate. What are your thoughts?
As far as their whole back and forth, the whole teasing and taunting, and like he captures her, but she outsmarts him or kind of flirts with him and distracts him. That was very impactful for me, especially with the animated series and all that. And then going into Michael Keaton, Batman Returns, played into it even further with the whole dual identity thing, and just that, like you said, that's the ultimate comic book couple, man. And I'm very excited to be able to kind of help bring that back to life again.
It's been a marriage 50 years in the making, or I think it's still like, well, that's probably like, I want to say 5 years by now, but could it be?
Yeah.
Batman number 50. They, they've been married probably several times in the past. No alternate reality version is Huntress is the daughter of them, but in recent times, in modern Batman lore, they had just Batman 50. I think they're on like 97, 94 right now. Joker War is just starting.
Yep.
So number 50. It was a huge story. It's pretty much started at the starting of the series. It kind of evolved along the way to them saying, okay, we're getting married for sure. They made a wedding issue, everything. Won't give it away for the people that haven't read it. But we wanted to incorporate that storyline somewhat in the project. Are you prepared to let the world see your heart?
No. I'm prepared to let Catwoman see my heart.
Me.
Yep.
The viewers live vicariously through Catwoman.
Right. Yeah, I don't like feelings, so no, nobody gets to see my nothing.
but I think that's also part of the way that they play their characters. They're always so guarded, even though they're kind of showing affection towards each other. They're still guarded the whole time. It's like,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like, no, I really like you, but you're also a
But,
criminal, so I don't really wanna. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He's like, I really like you, but you might try to take me in.
but not that much, yeah.
Yeah.
I was always disappointed by the occasional issue where Batman would bust Catwoman. I would always be like, why would you do that?
Why
Like,
would you do that?
I know that's your thing. That's your thing. But you let her go so often. Just keep letting her go.
He goes every 5 times. He has to bring her in.
Just keep
Why
letting
you
her go.
gotta be like that? Why you gotta be like that?
It's like a punch card. She gets 5, and then she has to get taken in.
Eric, how do you feel being the father of Batman for this project? A lot of responsibility.
Well, Alfred has got a very unique perspective in the whole Batman trope, as they say. He has known Bruce the longest. I think Alfred might be one of the very few people that sees him as Bruce and not Batman, for one thing. Because yes, okay, go to work, put on your costume, put on your cape, and go save the world, but come back safely.
Yeah.
Come back to do it again. And in watching, because I'll be honest with you, I didn't really get into a lot of the Dark Knight trilogy, the Christopher Nolan trilogy, until we began this process. But the watching Alfred in those movies and seeing him talk to Bruce about the fact, yes, you are this, but you're also so much more and have so much more in you than just that. You don't need the costume to be the best that you can be. Perhaps the best that you can be is what you are without the costume. And again, Alfred has known Bruce since he was a baby. Literally all of his life, he has been taking care of Wayne Manor. It has been Alfred, plain and simple.
Yep.
And Alfred, again, I repeat myself, Alfred knows Bruce better than anybody. Might not know Batman better than anybody, but knows Bruce Wayne better than anybody in this world. And wants Bruce to succeed more than he wants Batman to succeed. And that, I think, is the difference between Alfred and every other character in the whole Bat world.
Yeah.
And so when the first time we see Batman, the first time we see Alfred in this new movie that we're making, and the fact that there inside of the Batcave is Selina Kyle, who he knows as Catwoman. He knows that she's a criminal. He has let a criminal into the Batcave. Why? Because he knows that Selina is better for Bruce, perhaps, than Catwoman is bad for Batman.
It's good.
And so this is, pardon me, the actor must act at this point. So breaking down the script and taking apart scene by scene and word by word and line by line, it's quite obvious that he wants the best for Master Bruce and for Master Tim, and knows that one Miss Selina Kyle could be, and very likely is, a big part of that best. And so that's where Alfred fits into the picture.
Yeah. Mary, your inspirations of what would you like to draw from to help bring your performance to life?
That's tricky for me because there haven't been. Let me rephrase that. There have been a few on-screen depictions of Selena, but most of them are very, very stylized to fit the specific angle on the Batverse. So you have, Julie Newmar and the very 60s era, and you have Michelle Pfeiffer, who is very, very Burton, which do not get me wrong, I love Goth Till I Die, but again, I can't really draw from that because it's so specific and so Burton, and that's not really where we're drawing from insofar as the characterizations and the relationships go. So I'm kind of leaving Michelle alone. I'm kind of leaving Julie alone. But so then that really only leaves me with video games, the animated series, which again is also pretty specific, and Anne Hathaway, who I really love her take on Catwoman. There's and very like specific moments that when I've recently rewatched these, and I'm gonna do it again, and I'm gonna cry a lot, but where there are moments when I'm just there, that right there, and one of those moments that I can think of specifically is when she's in the bar with I'm forgetting his name now, but Bane, one of Bane's hench people who works for Daggett. And she's kind of beating their asses a little bit, and the cops are coming in, so she's like smacking some dude into a table and like flings his arm down around her and is like screaming, and then does that whole like like that very smooth transition, and I'm just like, chef kiss. Oh yes, that is what I want to emulate. But I'm not as big of a fan of the way she and Christian do like the Bruce and Selena. And granted, we don't get a whole lot of it, so that's part of the problem, but we're never really allowed to get to the point that we are in this particular take. So I don't really want to draw from that because there's too much, I don't know, it doesn't click quite the way that it is in my brain canon. So that part I'm kind of leaving alone and focusing more on comic inspiration, which is difficult because you can't hear comics. So it's very much like, this is what that sounds like in my head, which resonates for me, but it might not resonate for everybody else. So that to me is kind of scary.
You know what?
Because,
some of your delivery, if I can say, sorry, if I can, reminds me of the Arkham games, which is
that's good.
Yeah, that's
good. Yeah.
That little space, like Eric could probably attest. That's the room where you're able to make it however you see fit.
Right.
So that's where you're able to think, well, this is where I can interject myself into these lines and make it a full person and take away some of the pressure of, oh, it has to be like this, got to be like that. It just, sometimes it's just aspects. It's just aspects of certain things, and then
little this, little that, little of that,
and then make the rest your own. That's it.
I was gonna say, I'm almost glad to not have like one definitive version. I'm like, I want to do that, because there's no way that I'd be able to pull that off like at the level that I'm at right now. We're learning. It's fine, but it's better. It's better this way. It's better this way.
Go ahead.
I know exactly what you mean by that, because I mean all the different Alfreds, the TV Alfred, all the way up to Ray Fiennes, the Lego Alfred of all things.
Oh yeah.
I mean, how are you? I mean, here's the big actor Ray Fiennes. He's this Lego three-dimensional thing running around being Alfred. The best thing to do from what I've seen for myself anyway, and every actor does it differently. You take different pieces.
Yep.
And so much of it, it's better to borrow from here and borrow from here and borrow from here. But then if it isn't, if you don't feel it yourself, if it's not organic, to use the actor term,
Right.
if it isn't organic and you don't feel right doing it, then you move on, you try something else.
Yep. It's got to be part of you.
It's that simple.
Yep.
Yeah, that makes sense. Very wise.
You know, a lot of the people too, they don't have the definitive voice yet, and they're still playing around. So also don't think it's just you or anything like that. Just know, you know, everyone is going through, even me, I'm still sending it out a little bit, you know, so there's time. We have time. The shooting schedule is nice and kind of relaxing. So you have, and we still have, I think mid-August is the first shoot. So mid-August is the first shoot. We're going straight, hopefully, well, we need that Robin outfit show up, but we're going straight to the penguin scene to start it off. And then, you know, we're going to keep a bulk of the bigger roles kind of more clumped together towards the end, the Catwomans, the Batmans, the Jokers, you know, so we'll be able to concentrate on weekend after weekend, just those roles. So we're going to start with the smaller roles, get them out of the way, and then we could focus and be able to meld more together because we'll be spending more time together. There won't be like, hey, Catwoman this week, and then we'll see you in 3 weeks. No, we'll make sure that it's reasonably scheduled to keep the momentum and keep the feelings and keep all the magic there.
Yeah, Greg and I did some line work the other day, and that helped a lot just because, one, on the whole, like, okay, I'm not as out of my depth as I thought, which is very helpful.
You're
Thank
natural.
you, sir.
You're natural.
Yeah, so that helped a lot. It'll be fine. It'll be great.
You're natural. I've seen you.
It's gonna be great.
In cosplay, I've seen you. I saw some clip. I think it was the library one. Remember that?
Yeah.
Like last month or something.
Did you see the actual clip or just my fuck ups?
I think it was the real clip.
Oh, okay.
Because I didn't see anything that was fucked up.
Oh.
So I think it was the official one.
Yeah.
Greg, what are your thoughts on everything right now?
I've been, you know, I got to do some reading with Mary, and that was great to be able to do the Batman voice with the lines, and then also do different variations of that, and try, like you were saying, put part of myself into it, because just doing a Christian Bale when I'm tearing my voice doing it. But also it would just come across as an impression rather than actually trying to act or anything like that.
Well, it's like Eric said, it makes it unnatural.
Yeah, exactly.
You have to find the medium where you can marry them both together and have feel like it's real.
Yep. And then and trying to make sure that the delivery for the lines feels natural, feels like something that I like that Batman would say, and his delivery is so forceful with most things, but then when he's interacting with other characters, it's a little bit more, not withdrawn, but a little bit more nuanced, whereas he's not doing the full growl or anything. It's a little bit more whispery, and then trying to figure out what times he would be whispery versus growly versus full on Bruce Wayne, where he's just like with Alfred, I feel like he'd just be Bruce Wayne, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And that's the only time that he would get to be just Bruce Wayne, I would think.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He would have to be just Bruce Wayne.
That's right.
Alfred would put him in his place.
Now you can't fool me. You've got this outward persona and everything like that. Don't hide behind it.
Alfred would tell him to take
As
the
you,
mask
Miss
off when he
Selena,
comes
don't
out.
hide behind it.
Yeah,
No,
definitely want to
I'm-
get some reads going on with you guys in Gordon and even Joker, just us concentrating on those certain scenes.
Yeah.
Especially
very
you
excited
and you and Mary and the Bat family, Alfred, just to make sure that realness is there. You should have seen Eric when we were doing that read the other day with Ton. and man, it was just so natural and seemed like they knew each other for so long, and they
That's
really
great.
were those people. And I already know you guys got it, but you know, you can't polish a gold nugget enough. It was when you don't polish it, it starts to get a stain.
No, I think that's the part I'm most excited about at this point of doing a couple reads now and just really putting in the work and chipping away at the thing and making sure that by the time we start shooting, it just starts firing instead of like, well, let me get my thing and read again. And that's what I was afraid of with the first thing. I felt like I was going to come in and not know what I was doing. And then I think he handed me a page on the day of. I'm like, oh, okay. And it's like a big old monologue. I'm like, oh, crap. And then Eric, actually, I decided that was the very first role I'd ever done. And I'm like, I'm going to do an accent. And so I gave myself that to do. A nondescript accent at that point too. But yeah, I had a blast on that one. But yeah, that's what I'm excited for, or looking forward to at this point in the process of just really chipping away at things, doing the suit test, and figuring out the mobility for the fight scenes and fight scenes. I'm looking forward to those just because that's a new level of the whole aspect of it. Dreading it, but also looking forward to it. Because I don't want to look like a Batman that doesn't know what he's doing during the fight.
We'll definitely have days where Matt comes out and we'll do some choreography well before we shoot it. And then when we go to shoot it, we'll spend a day just doing the choreography again and then spend the next day shooting.
Nice. And then is Aaron, because it sounds like Aaron's got some fight background. Is he going to help with the kind of squaring out some of those?
Most likely, maybe, but I think it's more of what is one of those things that we'll kind of feel out while we're in the motions of it to see how we can work it, because there'll be opportunities for certain things that we're able to kind of create in the moment when we're there.
Yeah.
Of course, choreography isn't the most ideal, but there's a lot of smaller actions. It's not as complex as, say, like the Bane scene or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, there'll definitely be choreographed days, and you probably have you help and put a little input because it's your body, you're moving it. I mean, if you know this is how you throw your combos, we'll incorporate that, and we don't want to just make up stuff that's like, hey, can you do this flying kick? Well, Mary, for you, we might, but well, no, that's Robin.
No.
Robin, you got the scissor kick. We
don't. I will hurt somebody.
You got one of those.
No.
Those ones. Bow.
No.
Oh.
No.
We'll do a check angle.
I have been watching Christian Bale's fight scenes in those movies, kind of watching a lot of the hands up kind of elbows and things like that. So I've been kind of trying to mimic some of those movements just because I know that that's the universe that we're in. But no, I'm just excited really to just get in there and do the work really.
Eric, final thoughts going forward with the movie?
Well, there's been a lot of talk today about the fact that I have this acting experience and everything like that. What I don't have a whole lot of is necessarily film experience, being in front of the camera experience. I've done a little bit here and there and such, but the major concern, I know I can play the part and everything like this. The biggest concern that I have in terms of my preparation and everything like that is not anything more than I see in the script at one point Alfred holds a pistol. This is the thing that I'm the most afraid of, to be very honest with you, because that's not something that's in my repertoire, as it were, at this time. And so that's where the newness comes in, and it isn't going to be like a 1940s gangster coming in with a pistol. This is very British. I mean, I'd love to get a hold. I've been trying to track down a copy of what was it, the Kingsman's Servants or something like that. The movie that came out that had the
Secret
sequel
Service.
with Elton
Yeah.
John in it. That's the one, yes.
Mhm.
And that I'm wanting to get a hold of a copy of that or find it streaming or something like that, so that I can see some of those type of fight sequences, because that's
How
the
Alfred
kind of
would
thing
move
that's what Alfred would be doing.
Yeah.
That's the British kung fu, or I believe it's actually like Bartitsu, if I'm remembering correctly, is the name that I've Googled off of it. That's truly a British fighting technique, and has much more to do with defense and offense.
Another good example of that is the Guy Ritchie Sherlock Holmes movies with Robert Downey Jr. That's much more of an actively defensive and less of the very hyper stylized offensive fighting that's used in Kingsman. I recommend the Sherlock for Bartitsu.
Oh,
They're good movies.
I'm not a martial
I
arts
remember
expert.
enjoying both of them at the time. I'll definitely take another look. Thank you.
Yeah.
You know, I think there's some storylines too where Alfred has a background. You know, he's more of a badass nowadays, where he has a SAS British officer background, which pretty interesting.
And I mean, I Googled I wanted to learn a little bit more about the character, because again, I didn't grow up reading the comic books or anything like that. There's a lot of it that's like subtly referenced in the script. He's a florist. That's why he talks about the floral arrangements. I mean, and I'm envisioning not just a florist, but he's almost to the point of a hybrid florist, where he is making the new varieties of roses and things of this nature. I picture a black and white rose in his lapel for some reason. If we can make that happen.
Well, I'm sure they have them seen all different dyed colors, and I'm sure someone does a half black, half white. Or is that what you're thinking? You'll have to kind of like
maybe white
draw
tips
it up.
or something like that was my thought, but that's
I'm sure they have something like that.
Sure. In any case, so he does this. He talks about his culinary skills. He talks about his it talks about his fighting techniques. The fact that he served the queen at one point, apparently, in his backstory. It's really interesting to go back and see. Okay, of course he's this old, because he did all of this before he even got to Wayne Manor. And here's Bruce Wayne in his, I'm going to say, mid-20s, maybe 30 at the most. And he's been there at least that long.
You know, funny thing, bad comics been going so long. Alfred, actually, there was a storyline in the 70s, in the Silver Age, where Alfred was dying, and then everyone thought he died, and then he came back as a super villain. I think his name was like the Enforcer or something like that.
Wow.
And he was a villain for like a couple issues, and then they cured him somehow or something, but he's done it all.
Oh yeah.
Right.
I like the episodes on the Adam West Batman's when Alfred would suit up and go save Batman or save Bruce Wayne.
Absolutely. He put on the Batsuit himself once or twice, and became when Bruce Wayne and Batman needed to appear at the same time. Guess who showed up as Batman? It was Alfred.
Oh yeah. I've always
done that, even at least once in every format, like every media. I think because he's done it in the comics. I think he did it in a cartoon episode once. Yeah. And then whatever else, the TV show. Greg, final thoughts going forward.
Final thoughts. I'm just excited to keep going, man. I'm excited to start chipping away at this stuff, man. Excitement. That's my final thought.
We're taking wig suggestions too, guys. So.
Oh yeah. Oh, I do. I actually did find a wig that I just need to take to a stylist. So I do have one.
Okay.
I'll send pictures over. It's all luxurious at this point. But
all right. It can't be crazier than that last one you sent me.
Oh, it's real hair on this one. So. But I guess my final thoughts should have been, I'm Batman.
That's your most, that's every other thought. Every other thought.
Exactly.
No,
Mary?
you're not. You're Bruce Wayne. That Batman is the thing. You are Bruce Wayne.
Final thoughts, Mary. Going through.
Oh goodness. Yeah, I'm excited. This is gonna be a lot of fun, and I'm glad that I didn't chicken shit out. Still haven't chicken shitted, chat, whatever, out.
There's a lot of corn in chicken shit.
It's true. I just ordered a 6-foot flip instead of my crazy, I don't know how long the one I have is, too long. And I'm gonna attempt to find a location to learn how to use that sucker, because I might not be able to actually scissor kick anybody without maiming them or myself. But I'm gonna try to be able to use that thing so we can actually have that on camera and you know, not have to fake at least some of it. So fingers crossed.
All right,
No promises, but I'm gonna try.
Well, I know there's one scene where as many times as you gotta do it, let's do it. I don't want to give too much away.
Yeah.
We'll see if we can do it. Let's try.
All right, well, I want to thank you guys for coming on episode 3 of the Bat Vlog.
Wait.
Huh?
What are your final thoughts, Anthony? Come on, now.
Final thoughts. I have, my thoughts are more continuing. They don't really end. So.
Final thoughts right now tonight.
Oh, today's
Yes.
final thoughts. Well, I'm glad to have you guys aboard. I wouldn't even do it without you guys. You guys are my heroes. You're not only the heroes of the movie, and I'm serious when I say this, because I'm a big nerd. And
what?
when I met, who would know? Who would know? But like when I met you, and even when I met Walter, it was a joyous occasion. And also what I noticed about DC over Marvel cosplay is it me, or do DC people seem nicer? Are they nicer, or maybe I'm just fucking tripping. Maybe
I don't know if I've noticed. I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just, I have a very warped vision things. So I don't know. Probably
At least you
wrong.
know this about yourself. That's a good step.
Well, I've made a lot of breakthroughs this last 6 months. So now we're making a movie. So
hey!
Good.
The Joker's cured, man.
Good for us. Good for you. Good for me. And good for America. All 60 views. Thanks, guys. Thank you. We appreciate it. Just wait till we hit you up for money. Calendars?
Hey.
Who wants to buy a calendar?
Me.
No, but seriously though.
Me.
Would you? Well, you're going to help make it, so yeah, I think you get a free one. Is there? I don't know. I just feel like if we did some calendar, maybe we should ask America, and outside of America, if you're watching,
Viewers, all.
Viewers,
would you buy a calendar?
What kind of promotional material?
If we had what do they call it? A cheesecake calendar? Is that what they call them? If we had beefcake, cheesecake.
If we made a bat cake calendar, would you buy it?
Would you buy it?
If we made a cheesecake, would you buy it?
It's for a good cause. It's not like one of those scams where you got like people going to jail. Nothing like that. They're just calendar.
I mean, I make no promises. Maybe
cookies too. No. Need a license. All right, no calendars though. Calendars.
Now see, I'm looking at the calendar idea, and I'm looking at the 4 of us, and there's a line from Sesame Street about 3 of these things are just like the others, but one of these things just doesn't belong here.
Yeah,
haven't you heard of something called a gray fox? Silver fox.
Well, I've heard of red fox, but
yeah, exactly. That's what it was. I knew it was some kind of fox. Well,
you
we'll
just
have the
turned-
gray. We'll have the gray. I just have a feeling that for some reason you'd probably end up being the most popular one. You know, the world, they like what they like. And they're going to be like, Greg, yeah, okay.
Yeah, all right.
Whatever. Alfred.
No, I'm afraid that Tacoma might not be the right location for that.
No, of course not. Of course not. It'll be indoors. But imagine Alfred on a bearskin rug in front of a fireplace and champagne. He'll have like all his undergarments on because you know he's respectful like that.
That's
so
right,
he'll have like
gentleman.
Like a t-shirt. He'll have a whole t-shirt, boxers, the long socks with the
garter
suspenders
socks
on them.
Garter socks.
Alfred's got the eye rug
Maybe
on.
even
Yeah.
And
Full
you gotta have
suspenders and everything like this, of course. Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
All of it.
I think it could be
Suspenders
something.
must cover the nipples at all times.
And you know what? It goes for a good cause. Making our movie better. Because one of the ideas is we have X amount of money to make a movie.
Yep.
Of course, now we have X amount of people that need costume work, which was not one of the first things we were thinking originally. So in order to maintain everything, but make it even better, because now that everything has gone in this direction of, man, this is fucking, you guys are fucking awesome. Now we want to make it even bigger. So if there's a way, no, not yet. That's just a teaser. That's a teaser, ladies.
Right, okay, all right.
But they have to pay for that, Alfred.
That's right.
They gotta pay. But
That's right.
Yeah.
If you're good at something, never do it for free.
$10 or something like that. Or 20 or like 50 or something.
Whoa.
Like 100. No, there's tiers. No. But check this out. We have so many people, one female one, one male one. Yay or no? Or maybe there's only 12 people that even want to do it. And then, okay, one calendar. Yeah.
Right.
But I feel like a lot of people would just be like, oh, well, fuck it, let's do it. That's how I kind of feel.
And then the other idea we had mentioned was like mugshots of all the villains. Yeah. And you can do those as posters and sell those.
Me, please. Yes.
But then you.
And then you could actually do the idea of the calendar, but with the mugshots actually, or it doesn't have to only be mugshots, but
we could do that too.
We're thinking the mugshots for promo use.
Promotional, yeah.
That would be very.
That would be good. All that stuff, but
you know what we could do is there's a way to do this. I'm gonna have to look into it. My sister does this, but we can have the photos, use them for promotional materials, and then if people want poster versions, we can have them printed on demand instead of just printing a shitload of them and spending the money. So the option would be there. We wouldn't have to spend any money on it unless people actually chose to buy them. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because then it wouldn't be costing us any upfront.
Kind of like a Patreon thing where they buy in certain tiers and they get something.
Yeah.
Well, I know.
Oh, there's a thought.
Yeah, but
do we have a Patreon for this?
How would you like to be an extra in a Batman?
We're putting one together. What's that?
Okay.
I mean, for a certain amount, how would you like to be an extra in a Batman movie?
How
would you like to be one of the X-Men?
It's like, no.
There's thoughts about it. We just...
The top tier Batman will show up at your house and punch you in the face.
You have to have updates on a constant basis.
Oh my God.
And I think, we're thinking about all the different ways. And we probably will use several different ways, including actual blogs. Like I plan on writing vlogs because these people pick up. And if any of you guys write, you could write. Yeah, we'll take vlogs because from what I understand is like people like Bleeding Cool and all these little all the things that are on your Google page when you open Google and your phone's like, here's 10 suggestions about some nerdy stuff that is written by some person you never heard of.
Yeah.
They pick them up. They just pick up stuff that people are reporting on, and if it's related to, because think of a nerd site has to have new material every single day. They can't. So this is a way for them to have something. So yeah.
That's it. So how do we go about doing that? That sounds interesting.
This is the way.
Patreon
Wrong
link
fandom. Get
right
out.
on the bottom. We'll make sure that's there.
No, come
And,
back, come back, come back. I'm kidding.
But yeah,
No
we'll
shame.
we'll do everything we can to to increase awareness and to try to interact with the people so they could be a part of everything too. Because what is anything without people?
Brief.
Only I know. It's my life.
Oh.
It's all of our lives at this point.
Oh, I was gonna say
COVID. Brought to you by
art in the time of COVID.
Hey, anyone want to add anything else before we?
Did we actually finish
No.
up, or do we need to do a wrap up?
We did. We could do
Okay.
a wrap up, and we
Alright.
could edit this part. But yeah, we got. This will probably be our longest episode. But that's not bad. It does. You know, we
I'm
don't
sorry.
really have time.
How
There's
dare
not really
you
a time frame.
have
It's
interest
just
to say?
just not so long that they don't come back next week. So
We don't have to keep going. I was just
no,
because it cut you off in the middle of saying something. So
yeah, and I totally forgot what.
I
that
mean,
was.
It is your final thoughts.
your
We'll
final
do final.
thoughts
Oh, my final
of the
thoughts.
day.
Oh, final thoughts of the day. Oh, it was about you guys. It was about how my final thoughts, for those of you at home, final thoughts of the day is that I couldn't make this move without you guys. And I'm going to stop trying to act like I'm hogging all the credit and, oh, it's all me. No, it's not me. It's you. It's you, and it's you. And without any of you guys, I'm nothing. I'm nothing. You breathe life into this body.
Wow.
Yes. I'm just the brains. All I could do is do the thinking. That's all. But I still need legs. No. No. Yes. No. I don't know. Thanks for tuning in. Next week, same bat time, same bat channel? No.
Yeah.
Same cat time, same cat channel. Think about it. Yeah, and give it serious consideration.
One thing that we never touched on. Do you want to say where to follow everybody or where to follow
Follow everyone. We'll have it probably on the screen at some point, and then we'll have it all in the little links on the bottom.
The description.
Okay, I know Eric always says it, so I just wasn't sure.
Description.
Yeah, I
The
know.
description. Yes. Yeah. No, you're right, because my YouTube manual says if you don't tell them, they're not even gonna think about it, and they're like,
Like and
next.
subscribe. Yeah.
So-
People don't read
right.
descriptions. People
Yeah.
don't read. You have to tell them.
Like,
They'll be like, oh.
all right. Well, you know what? Let's let everyone give their handles.
Oh, I
We'll
meant for
start-
the movie, the
Oh,
YouTube and
that's-
all that stuff.
You know what? That's the one we always forget. Instagram has a page, The Dark Knight Triumphant.
Yep.
Maybe check it out. Maybe follow it. Maybe even like it. Yep. Maybe even watch the movie.
What?
That we're making a movie.
What?
Guys. I know you see these vlogs and you're like, oh, vlog. No, it's for a movie. It's for a movie.
This is promotion.
We promise. There's something coming.
Self-promotion.
There's something coming, people.
There is.
You can't expect it to just be overnight. Probably around vlog 30, we'll have something for you. Okay? Jesus
So just be
Christ.
patient.
We're working as fast as we can, okay?
We're still trying to make the cave.
We don't sleep.
Just turn it into like an attack. See, that's your problem. You guys need to be patient.
And I
It's a lot of
we
work.
still got to pay regular bills.
Yeah, we do.
I got to make dinner too later.
We got bad bills due.
Past due, bad bills. Bad
Exactly.
time.
Cuts all into my
Bad
video
time.
game time.
And Alfred is just standing there, listening to the mayhem.
Silently judging.
But also very tolerantly
Always
judging.
Silently judging.
Judgy but tolerant.
Only have that shotgun now. Hey. Yellow print.
It's just like,
All right.
Beefcake calendars. Oh my goodness.
$19.99 shipped plus tax.
We're back to the Prince thing at $19.99 once again.
$10. How much do you got? How much do you got on you?
What you got? We'll take that.
$6.73.
We'll take it.
Just give it to us.
Anything you can spare, please.
For one halfpenny, Alfred will do your telephone recorder.
Ooh.
I have a tier. How about Alfred comes and cleans your whole house?
Or sends a little army of folks to do so.
Yeah, they're the guys that throw
Maybe
stuff
not the
away
two words.
in those hoarders videos. You gotta learn to let go.
I like the idea of Alfred having a group of minions.
House elves or something.
I think I'll match you, Eric, and also I'll do a voicemail recording as well for folks with Batman if they want. I'll match you on that one.
Aww.
Or your best Will Arnett impersonation, either one.
No, I don't want to do that.
How much does it cost for Batman to come to my job and intimidate my boss? What is their price on that?
Or if you're having a hard time getting your kid to go to sleep, put Batman on the phone. I'll scream at him for a while. I think we've derailed a little.
In the best way. In the best possible way.
You know what? Alfred's cookies. Get some little tins.
That sounds like a R-rated site, Alfred's cooking.
That sounds like the other calendar, the third calendar, all Alfred calendar. Alfred through the ages.
Yes.
Alfred through the seasons.
Yes.
This is
And
my
Al
fault.
for all seasons.
Oh, I
Al for
love
all
it.
seasons.
That's what it's called.
perfect.
Yep, we're doing it. It's happening.
Perfect.
Yep.
An autobiography
Mm-hmm.
by Eric First.
In pictures.
And it won't be the last.
Nope.
Oh, I've never heard that one before. That's a new one.
Ooh.
Oh, I do like rehashing old stuff.
That you're a writer now.
Joker, get out.
It won't be the first. Oh my goodness.
You know,
You're not
like
funny.
Wow.
you know, I like to take
That's
a joke and
amazing.
step it
You're
into
not
the
funny.
ground.
I'm being sarcastic now.
You weren't the whole time?
I'm sorry, your mic was out. What was that last 30 seconds?
I feel like you have control of these microphones for some reason.
You're damn right. Here, let me put you back on now. There you go. It's on. It's on. People,
Yep.
like,
Yep.
share, subscribe.
Please.
Tell somebody.
Join us, won't you?
Tell your kids. Tell your kids.
They're
Your
mailmen, tell everybody.
kids.
Who should they tell, guys? To
Tell your
watch this?
mom.
Tell your mom.
I
Greg,
don't know.
Tell your richest cousin that you know.
tell your
That.
richest cousin.
That.
Yep.
Batman, who?
That.
Go to your local comic book shop and tell everybody that's in there.
Spread
And
the
tell them
word.
to tell everybody else.
Spread
And
the
I'm gonna-
gospel.
And I'm going to tell all the dentists that have a bunch of extra money they got to write off on taxes this year. Movie is a great write-off. It's a great write-off.
Yeah.
How do you think they made Aliens Part 2? Or was it Terminator? It's a great write-off.
Don't Google
fact
that.
check that. Yeah, don't fact check that.
Don't fact check that.
Don't fact check.
Don't worry
Just
about
take-
it.
Take
Just take
our
my
word
word for it.
Do
I
we
know what I'm
look like-
talking about.
Would Batman lie to you? Would
I
he?
didn't say that though. You did.
I didn't. Well,
The joke
Your
was-
loophole, you ruined it.
Batman.
would you?
That wasn't Batman.
Or
I
we're
would.
selling it off at
Joker,
you.
Wait a minute. You people float it along.
Joker
This
for you. man.
movie,
It's a lie.
Oh,
this
guys.
movie
What that
is
is.
perhaps the most wonderful thing that has ever been created.
In the history of man.
Yep. Yep.
Don't forget to tell your barber.
It might be the
'Cause-
best thing to ever happen to the city of Tacoma.
Someone, and Mary, tell your cat.
Oh, they're not my cats.
How your cat?
Tell your
What?
cat, woman.
Mm.
Tell your cat, woman.
I'll tell them. They won't give a shit.
And Eric, tell your
If,
boss
if
at
your
work.
cats don't give a shit, take them to a veterinarian.
Whoever's
You're working for
your,
the government, you can tell everybody.
whoever's your,
Yeah.
whoever's the meanest drill sergeant over there, Eric, tell him, hey, if you watch this, it'll help to lighten you up.
Well, the meanest
smile on
drill
that
sergeant where I am right now
Wow.
happens to be the woman playing Maggie the barista. No, I'm joking. She'll probably be watching this.
Well, you better erase that. I guess we better edit what 1537 in.
Please take this out because we want my wife happy.
Yes.
So we'll take out all the oogles from earlier.
Or else there's no calendar.
She will be the first one to buy that bearskin rug idea that you.
Oh, good.
Good.
Tell her if she plays her cards right, you get her autographed copy.
Oh.
Mr. February.
If
Yeah.
you play your cards right, she'll be in it with me.
All right. Well, that's the Gals of Gotham calendar.
That's
Yeah, let's get them both. People want to buy this calendar. $20 each or 2 for $50.
60.
Wait.
One for 60? Well,
One
You know
for
what?
60, 2 for 20. How does
what
that
about minimum 2 for 20? $10 each, right? $10. We don't want to charge the world, right? Or do we? Or don't we? No, $10. Well,
15
depends on if
max.
it's glossy. Is
I'm
it
probably
glossy?
gonna figure out how much it's gonna cost to print these things
I
first.
was gonna say.
I bet you get them printed from one of those little catalogs that you get like at when some job goes and makes a bunch of shirts.
I've done
Hey.
this.
Calendars.
The more
Hey,
you print, the cheaper it
for
is.
$30. I don't know. We'll see. We'll look into it though.
Yes.
Maybe they'll be the mini calendars.
Little
for
desk
full-
calendars.
For regular
Desktop
price.
calendars.
That's right. Little
But-
foot counters on your desk. That's right.
Yeah, yeah.
Little small one for big price. You want it. You want it.
I prefer not to have the word small one mentioned in reference to the calendar, please.
People want this.
You know you want it. Just say yes.
I know I'm gonna have one.
Oh yeah.
I'll probably have a whole box of them trying to sell them.
I'd hang one on my wall at work, man.
Yeah.
Someone wants them.
Why not?
said-
Everyone is doing it.
Eric Mack's job is to sell them for us.
Yep. He could do it too. He could do it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So
Yeah.
Eric, tell him that people are starving on the set of Batman.
We're so hungry. No, what we're gonna be is sweating. Forget food.
They were trying to buy water for all
We're
the
trying to
kids,
buy water
all the kids on the movie
so
set.
we don't fucking die.
A lot of leather outfits out here.
Alfred will not be in a leather outfit, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Aw.
We're writing
Just
it
being
in.
boxers. Boxers and
Tiger boxer shorts. Yes, indeed. Tiger boxer shorts.
That's
But the full
best.
suit on top,
Yep.
and then boxers.
Yep.
you know what might even
Boxer
be a
shorts
good one?
with the British flag all across them.
Yeah,
What
that's it.
about
That's it. We have our winner.
Alfred in a
That.
little donut in a pool. He's got like a little like umbrella.
Aw. Yes.
It's like
A little drink.
little rubber shoes on. It's ones with all the circles on them.
Yep.
Crocs.
Crocs. Is that what they call them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Killer Crocs.
the ones that you wear on Sunday because they're all holy.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Not your church shoes, but the other.
But the other holy shoes. Yes.
No, the church ones. No, the church one. You know what? Maybe Alfred should be wearing dress shoes in the pool. Wouldn't that be
Now, see,
more? Because he's fancy. He's too fancy for Crocs. Should be dress shoes.
Alfred would
Yeah,
never put Crocs on. There's no way. He has too much dignity.
I think you're onto something.
And again, the silent judging continues.
No, I could hear it. I could hear the judging. It sounds like a crackle. It's like a crackle. Guys, you're beautiful. All of you. Made me feel so ugly. As a matter of fact.
Stop it.
I want to thank you.
We thank you.
Thank you.
Indeed. Thank you.
And thank you down there. Thank you all.
Master Anthony, it's been a pleasure.
It's been my pleasure. You know, I never know how to end these things. I'll just click it.
We done did a thing. And now we are leaving. Good
we
night.
talked.
It's been done.
We talked to another
did.
person. We
What?
talked to another person today.
It was amazing.
And then
I never knew.
A whole bunch of
I
them.
never knew it could be so enriching.
Never ever.
Thanks. Now I don't have to see. Now I don't have to see my therapist this week.
Aww.
I'm right here.
Aww. It's like,
Silently,
I've been here the whole time.
feeling. Don't tell the IRS. We'll talk soon. Bye, guys.
Bye.